Hi, and welcome to another video tutorial on using Moodle 2.6 for the York County School Division virtual high school program teachers, as well as any teachers in the division that are using Moodle to blend their classrooms. In this video tutorial, we're going to look at how to create assignments in Moodle. So I'm logged in as Tom Teacher again, and we are in that training course that Tom is working on. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn on the editing for this course, and you see that gives me all of the menu options associated with existing assignments and activities and resources, as well as my drop-down menus that I'm going to use to actually add this assignment. So previously everything that we've done has been in adding a resource. This is just a file or a link or some other piece of information that a student is going to use just to read information. Since an assignment is something that the student actually has to interact with, meaning they have to read it, understand what they're supposed to do, and actually do something in response, we're going to use add an activity. And so when we look at assignments, we actually see two different pieces there. We have assignment with nothing after it, and then assignments italicized with the 2.2 after it. And what this is showing us is this is from a previous version of Moodle. Our current version of Moodle is 2.6. All of these grouping of 4 different types of assignments is from 2.2 and earlier. So we're going to go ahead and use the current 2.6 assignment link that's in here. And so when we see the page pop up, we have assignment name, which is again the piece that is going to show up. And I need to spell this correctly. Introducing yourself. And so the students will click on an Introducing Yourself link on the main page of the course. And then the description is the piece that's going to pop up that actually gives them the directions on what they are asked to do. So I'm going to type in here, write a 1-paragraph introduction of yourself. Be sure to include the following pieces, and I really like bullet points, so I'm going to use bullet points for mine. Your name, where you were born, other places you have lived, your current grade in school, your favorite subject in school, and we could go on with this to include as many pieces as you would like. Remembering that this is again a 1-paragraph introduction. Certainly you can change the directions to be anything you want, and you have plenty of space in here to put as much direction as you'd like. You can also include hyperlinks in here, so if you have a document that you would want to link to make this work, we can certainly do that. All you'd have to do here is highlight the piece that you would like to become your hyperlink. You click on the Insert/Edit Link button here, and it's going to pop up and ask you where this link actually is. So you would insert that just like you would insert any other pieces. We can click the Browse button. We get our repository to come up. We had a separate video tutorial on using the repository, so we can grab something right from our repository and upload it into the hyperlink. So we can make a URL hyperlink, or we can make a link to a file that's going to sit on Moodle. I'm going to cancel out of that because I don't really want to include anything in there, but you know that's there. We can also include pictures. We can embed certain types of media, including videos, within our description, so students can watch pieces right from there. And they have another little fun tool, the Embedded Files tool, which creates a little iframe within there, so you could actually scroll in a small box of another file while you have the rest of your directions. So it's something fun to play with that you can certainly explore on your own. We come down here and we see we have this availability box that's open right away. I'm going to go ahead and disable the submissions from and due dates because I want to have the students be able to use this whenever they like. Now, the reason I like to do this is because when we roll the courses over from year to year, if you have those enabled, it's going to keep that same date. It's not going to update the dates for us to the new year. So when we have a class that's going to be offered in 14-15, and then when we offer it in 15-16, the due date will have already passed before the school year even starts. So it puts a lot more work on the teacher to go back and manipulate all those due dates. So my suggestion is always just to disable those so you don't have to worry about it. Certainly as you're working through the course during the year, if you want to enable due dates on individual assignments, you can do that, but just know when that course gets copied over, you're going to have to go back and redo those again. So we come down to the next box and we have different submission types. You see it's giving us the option of doing a file submission where the students would create their response in something like Microsoft Word and upload the file, much like we did before. Or they can also do what's called online text, which means that they're going to get a big text box very similar to this description box that we just worked in, where they're going to type in their answer. I actually have both of these boxes checked right now, which means that the students could actually pick which way they'd like to do that. You're really good either way, and my suggestion would be there, really consider what you're asking the students to submit. For a simple assignment like this, I think an online text option would be fine, but I know some students, and this would be me too, would want to work in Microsoft Word to get their spelling correct, so that when they submit it they know there's no spelling errors. So the next piece is maximum number of file uploads. We can let them upload multiple files here. For this assignment, I'm really only going to stick with one, but there could be assignments, and certainly with any kind of projects that you're doing, where they're going to need to upload multiple files to submit every part of the project. Activity upload, the default is 1 megabit, which is the largest. When we need to upload pieces that are bigger than 1 meg, we have to be a little more creative in how we do that. Such as having the students upload something to a Google Drive, having them share that out, and then giving a link within an online text, for example, of where their documents are. So for large files bigger than 1 meg, we do again have to be a little creative in how we work with this. So for feedback types, this is just different ways that you can give feedback to students. So right now the feedback types are comments, and if we want to be able to put a file in for our feedback, we can check that as well. So if you wanted to download the file, put comments in it, save it, and re-upload it for the student to see those comments, you would want to click that feedback files. Underneath submission settings, are we going to require students to click the submit button? We can choose that either way we want. I'm going to click yes because I want them to make sure that they're done and have to submit that. Requires students accept the submission statement. Now, as long as they're clicking submit, I'm going to be quite okay with that, but you could, this is kind of like a double check, are you really sure that you want to submit this file? And with attempts reopened, are we going to let them change their attempt? I can set that for manually, personal preference there. If I want the student to redo their work, I'm trying to really get them to master doing this well and not just giving them a one shot and done. This will allow the teacher to control the student's ability to re-upload files. And maximum attempts, again, since I have it set to manual, I can leave it unlimited. If I'm trying to grade them for mastery, I'm going to let them redo it until they get it right. Group submissions, we don't have any groups set up right now in our courses, so I'm going to leave that as no, and typically you're not going to have groups set up. Maybe in a blended learning course would be the only exception to that. If you are teaching a blended learning course, simply change the group setting to yes, although once you set up groups it's going to default that way anyway. Notify graders about submission, so if you want to get some kind of notification to your email that an attempt has been made on an assignment, you can change that to yes. Very similar with the notify graders about late submissions. Although if we're not giving a due date, we won't have any late submissions. In the grade field, we're going to just leave this out of 100. Certainly if you want to change that, you can. I would leave these all the same. If you really want to play around with some of the different pieces that you have in here, such as using a rubric or a marking guide, you can. I just find it, for me personally, simpler to leave it at 100 and then work kind of on my own and put the final score up there for them. Again, typically with some kind of feedback file if there is a rubric associated with it. I'm going to leave the other defaults as they are here. And last, we have our common module settings. We're going to share this so students can see it. No groups right now, and then save and return to course. Alright, once this loads, we see we have a link in here with a hand underneath the file, kind of representing that whole hand and file thing. So when we click on our file now, what we see as the teacher is the introduction with the directions that are in here, and then it gives us a nice little grading summary.